All right, welcome everybody. I'm Greg Fisher, the mayor of Louisville. I have the honor and privilege of serving the city, and we're all being tested during this time of COVID-19, but we're making good progress as we all get together and go through it. First, I want to welcome Julie Johnson. Julie is our interpreter for our deaf and hard of hearing community. She is coming to you live right now on Spectrum in Uverse. If you're watching on that, you see Julie. So thank you, Julie, for helping us. And then she can also be seen later on Facebook when a recording of this call goes up on that. So we're pleased to add that addition to our daily media briefing. So first, let's talk about our most recent data. We now have 103 positive cases in Jefferson County out of 248 statewide. That's an additional 43 cases since yesterday. It's obviously the biggest one-day increase that we have seen so far. Unfortunately, and this is the hard part about all of this. None of us like hearing this, but I'm sad to report that we've had an additional death. I don't have the details about that person we lost, but obviously our hearts go out to their friends and family during this very, very difficult time. So one reason we know that the numbers are climbing, and we've said all along that we expect them to climb because the virus is spreading, but also our testing capacity is significantly scaling. So as that scales, we're going to have more positives. We do have adequate capacity, more than adequate capacity in the hospitals, and that's where really the rubber meets the road in terms of the number of people going to the hospitals. Statewide, we have had more than 4,000 tests administered. Limited drive-through testing has begun here in Louisville, provided by appointment only at the University of Louisville, by their hospital, and by the VA. Don't forget, an increasing number of positive tests is what we expected. Okay? So while we all want everybody to take the virus seriously, we're expecting the numbers to go up. And eventually we're going to hit a peak, and the number of cases will start to decrease. That's how these viruses work. And that's what's happened around the world. But we've got a ways to go before we get to that point, and there will be challenges along the way, but we will rise to that challenge. Right now, as I mentioned, for example, we have bed capacity in our hospitals. We are not overstretched like you're seeing in some of the cities around the country. We do expect a surge, right? That's how this virus is working, and we're prepared for that best we can possibly be, and that is through our incident management team, which has now been stood up for 2 weeks. Our emergency operations center has been up for 3 weeks to deal with this crisis. So we're building capacity by the day. And our incident management team includes people from throughout metro government, including first responders and health professionals, and then community partners as well. I want to give a big, big shout out to our incident management team and all the personnel there. We're responding to this as if we are in a war. We're in just a different kind of a war right now. So in terms of people being deployed, time being put at it, people making personal sacrifice, are doing superheroic work to keep all of us safe. So I want to send a big shout out to the IMT folks. If by any chance they happen to be watching this, that we really, really appreciate what you all are doing. We owe them and all of our first responders, all of our healthcare professionals, we owe them our appreciation, but we also owe them, for each one of us, to do everything we can to limit the spread of the COVID-19 crisis. And so I'm going to review what I haven't in the past couple of days, because some folks are still not getting what they need to do from a personal responsibility standpoint. I really ask everybody, if you're not doing that, please, please, please help us. Okay, this is a team sport, and we need everybody. So the big reminders that we've been talking about from day one: stay home as much as you can. You can get out and get some fresh air and exercise as long as you're socially distancing, but stay home as much as you can. Keep that 6 feet in mind. If you can breathe on somebody, cough on somebody, sneeze on somebody, you're too close, don't do it. That is how this virus will quit spreading. If you must go out, stay apart. Wash your hands as often as you can. Soap and water, 20 seconds. Parents, we need you now more than ever, whether it's a guardian that's watching a child, parent, grandparent. This is a tough time, and to keep young kids and teenagers saying you got to stay in the house with all the energy they have and every instinct they have to go outside is really hard to do. And I know that. But it is very important that you keep an eye on your kids and that they make sure they are not gathering somewhere with other folks, because if they gather, they could be spreading the virus to others and then bringing home to you and your loved ones as well. So I know it's a tough time for the kids and parents, as I've said before, but you've got to educate them about what this virus can do. You've got to talk about the sacrifice that your family is making and that you need them to make as well. Because here's the bottom line. We are still seeing far too many kids, often teenagers, gathering in groups and staying close enough to spread the coronavirus to people throughout our city. And we're getting too many reports of people gathering unsafely in parks. We love our parks. We all know that, but we got to use them responsibly. So even if you're outside, even if you're young, you can still get the virus, and then you spread the virus if you are not following our guidelines. So moms, dads, grandparents, aunties, uncles, talk to your kids, okay? Let them know what's at stake. They may not die from this, but you very well could be, and somebody older than you could be, or someone with chronic conditions. So they can all contribute to being, can be heroes in the community. Well, here's what we got to do. We got to make it cool, okay, to practice social distancing. We got to make it cool for kids to say, I'm doing my part. I get this thing. And so when they can be 20 years, 40 years, 60 years from now, they can talk about this to their friends and say, I did my part. So to our city's young people, what we're asking of you is something that no other generation since the great generation of World War II has been asked to do. They had a different mission. You've got a mission now specific to stopping the spread of this virus. Nobody chose this time, and you might find it inconvenient for you, but we need you. We know it's true. And we're asking you to step up in a way that is good for you and your families and all of the people that you love in our community. We need you like never before. So please socialize this in a way so it becomes the right thing to do, and you can look at your friends and say, we are standing up to this virus. We are protecting each other and protecting our communities. Stay home. Don't gather in groups. This isn't going to go on forever. But we need it now so we don't have these crises like you're seeing in other cities on TV right now. So the more strictly we follow these social distancing guidelines, the sooner we will put this COVID crisis behind us and life will return to a new normal. But we need your help right now. Okay? So thank you. Please spread the word. On Sunday, I'm going to have a meeting with my youth implementation team, and we're going to discuss some more different ways that we can get the message out to the young folks in our community. So please help us. As I've mentioned, look, there's a lot of tough news going on during this time, but there are an incredible number of people that are doing good things in our community as well that shows the heart that we have in Louisville. JCPS is just getting it done every day. They're really helping with food security. Yesterday, JCPS distributed 16,431 meals to students, about 1,000 more than the day before. So I really want to thank JCPS for helping our kids and our families. The One Louisville COVID Response Fund is another great highlight for our city. Remember, we wanted to announce that with a goal. It was 9 days ago, $2.5 million. The fund, the Emergency Relief Fund, is now over $5.6 million. People from throughout the community coming together to donate to help other people they don't even know. That is what the definition of compassion is. So an update on that is that we have, let's see, as of yesterday, there have been 128 applications approved in the COVID-19 Relief Fund, meaning 128 families will soon receive assistance. And that assistance is paid directly to vendors like landlords, utilities, and child care providers to help these folks that have been financially impacted fill the gap during this difficult stretch. So I want to thank our outstanding team at Resilience and Community Services for stepping up to manage this. This has been a flood of people asking for assistance, and we want to be able to provide it but the Resilience and Community Services team is getting after it. We appreciate that. People with big hearts in our community. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to the One Louisville COVID-19 Response Fund as well. And I would just ask everybody, if you're on here, go to louisvilleky.gov after this cast right here. Go to the top left, learn more about One Louisville, and while you're there, click on there and throw in $10 or $100 or $1,000 or 10,000, whatever it is that you can afford to do. You're going to help somebody. Never going to know who it is, but pass good karma forward. It'll pay off for you. Okay, it's a tax-deductible gift as well. Now, we often ask, is what we're saying, is it making an impact on the community? Are we getting through to folks, and are people adopting the importance of social distancing? So there's a company called Unicast that is tracking cell phone data nationwide and rating cities and states by how much their citizens have reduced mobility in response to the crisis. In other words, how much social distancing is happening. So they do that by tracking your cell phone movement, physical movement. So according to Unicast, this is big news. Jefferson County has experienced a 42% decrease in mobility between February 28th and March the 1st. That earns us an A, which is their highest rating. And that means our community is once again leading the way in caring about each other, heeding the calls to limit movement in the community. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, what we're saying here is we're getting the word out, people are listening, and they're saying, I'm going to do my part, keep myself safe, my community safe, my loved ones safe. So it's great to have data to back that up. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. I know I get on here and I can talk pretty sternly because what I'm trying to do is get everybody to do social distancing and restrict mobility so we can save even more people. Okay, so this is great news from Unicast. Keep up the good work. Thank you, everybody. Okay, on the federal relief bill, let me go back to one other thing. On the Unicast deal, what I just said there was February 28th to March 1st. What I meant was February 28th to March 21st. Okay, so a 3-week period. If that makes it even better news, right? So forgive me for that. So again, nice job to everybody. Okay, big news on the federal relief bill. It was great news. This bill just passed the House about 2 hours or so ago. So it's now passed the Senate. It's passed the House. The president said that he will sign the bill immediately. This is a $2 trillion package, trillion with the T. The bill is almost 900 pages long. We, along with our team in Washington, D.C., are reviewing it as quickly as we can. We will have a lot more to share about this in the coming days. But here's some of the primary takeaways, especially as it relates to our individuals, our families, and our small businesses, which we encourage you all to get as smart as you can, as quickly as you can on this so you understand the relief that's coming your way. Most people who earn less than $75,000 will get a one-time cash payment of $1,200. A married couple would each receive a check, and if you have children, you get another $500 per child. So if you have a married couple under $75,000 each is $1,200 times 2, $2,400. Let's say you've got 2 kids, that's another $1,000. So that's a check for $3,400. Okay, so those cash payments are going to be based on your recent tax filing, 2018 or 2019. So the purpose of that is to get some cash immediately into tax filers in the country so you can take care of your bills, stimulate the economy so we keep our economy going. On top of that, there's extra unemployment benefits. So this bill increases unemployment benefits, extends them 4 months, expanding them and making more people eligible, including part-time workers, freelancers, and gig economy workers. The state has also taken some similar steps to help folks who are out of result as a result of COVID-19. Okay, so we realize there's a lot of anxiety because of this health crisis. That's only natural. So if you're having anxiety, just say, it's only normal that I feel anxious right now, if that makes you feel any better. But knowing now this financial assistance is coming, hopefully you can take a deep breath and say, okay, that's going to help out quite a bit. So you don't need to do anything if you're a federal tax filer. They have all that information. If you have direct deposit, the The money's going to go right into your bank account. For those that don't, the federal government is trying to figure out how to do that. So just stay tuned on what's going on there. And make sure on your unemployment insurance that you do what you need to do to get all that lined up as well. Other news, for people with student loans, all loan and interest payments will be deferred through September the 30th without penalty for all federally owned student loans. Student loan debt's a big problem in the country, so this is going to help that out a little bit. Health insurance. This bill requires private health insurers to cover COVID-19 treatments and makes all coronavirus tests free. So this is a question that's come up several times from folks is, I can't afford to test. There is no charge for the test. But remember, step one, check with your healthcare provider to see if you need to take the test. Dr. Moyer will talk more about that later to us. In the bill, there's more money for food banks, for food stamps, and for schools and school systems to provide meals for kids like JCPS is providing for Louisville kids already. Small businesses, backbone of our city, soul of our city, soul of our country. It's important that they can get through this crisis, so the bill addresses that as well. Businesses with under 500 employees, including independent contractors, people who are self-employed, and nonprofits would be able to apply for emergency grants up to $10,000 for payroll, mortgage, rent, and other operating expenses. Express loans up to $1 million for eligible borrowers is defined by the Small Business Administration. Forgivable loans up to $10 million through a Paycheck Protection Program cover up to 8 weeks of expenses, including payroll, employee paid sick leave, employee health care, utilities, rent, interest on a mortgage, and interest on other debt obligations. Businesses that have laid off employees would be able to use funding through the Paycheck Protection Program to rehire those employees so you can get your company family back together. If you're an existing SBA loan holder, the federal relief bill also includes up to 6 months of debt relief for existing SBA loans. So now what we don't know is how long it's going to take for businesses and individuals for this to see the funding show up. And the federal government obviously is trying to compress that time as much as possible. It's going to be a few days before agencies like the Small Business Administration issue guidance for how businesses and residents can access these relief measures. And the bill also provides some support for education and for state and local government to fight the spread of the virus, which obviously is much needed. Now, one thing to note that this bill does not do, it does not provide any funding to address the serious budget challenge that our city and cities across America will be facing as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. So imagine, when business is down, we don't get tax revenue. We don't get tax revenue. We don't have the money to keep our people employed. Who are our people? Firefighters, police officers, EMS workers, etc. That's an allergy, sorry. So I want to thank the members of Congress for the work that they're doing on this. And it's an important step forward, but there's a lot more work to do and more help needed in the weeks and months ahead, including direct assistance to cities like us so we can keep delivering our services. And Congress knows that. All right, so more information and guidance in the days ahead as we review this final bill. Dr. Moore, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for a medical update.
Thanks, Mayor. So today, I just want to ask the media and the community and everyone to help us get out an important message. All of us really need to understand that COVID-19 is throughout our community. There is community spread happening, and we don't need testing to tell us this. And we all need to be changing our behaviors. All of us should be staying home now and only going out for essentials and trying to limit that to just once a week or less. And we're continuing to see people consumed with testing. They want to be tested, symptoms or not, they just want to be tested. And I understand wanting to know, but getting tested doesn't change treatment. And here's the other thing too, research is telling us that the test for COVID-19 is only about 60% sensitive, which means that 6 out of 10 people that have it, only 4 out of 10 people who have COVID and get a test and it's negative, they do actually have COVID. So it's confusing, but the bottom line is that even if you test negative, but your doctor thinks you have COVID, we need you to stay home. And that's the most powerful thing we can all do, is staying home. Whether you have been tested or not, if you have symptoms of any illness, please just stay home. And then just want everyone to understand that when you go out anytime, whether that's to the grocery store, it's to play basketball when we're telling you to stop doing that, you're at risk of getting sick. And then if you're sick and you're leaving the house, especially with a fever, you're infecting other people. So if you have symptoms, please don't travel to urgent treatment centers, doctor's offices, and hospitals demanding to be tested. You're infecting everyone around you when you do, and many of the people that are in our ERs and doctor's offices are there because they have chronic conditions, and these are the people that are most at risk of getting severe disease. So if you think you're sick, you think you might have COVID, the best thing to do is call your physician or your doctor's office and follow their advice. If they tell you to stay home, please just stay home. And then for employers, sick employees should not be coming to work. Please don't penalize or pressure them to come to work or require a COVID test to return. We have guidance on our website when employees are safe to return to work. And then also want to get across the message that jury's still out on whether or not having recovered from COVID-19 provides immunity. There's some worrisome signs that you can get reinfected. So if you've had it and recovered, please, we also need you to keep staying home. So some of the research is that studies of 4 of the seasonal coronaviruses that cause common colds are usually present in our community every year, indicating that infection and antibodies don't cause long-lasting immunity. All of us get repeat colds every year, and a lot of these are due to the coronavirus. We build up some immunity to them, but evidence tells us that immunity declines over time. And if COVID-19 follows the pattern of the 2002 SARS outbreak, those that get mild upper respiratory illness could get reinfected, but those that get a really deep lung infection might be protected longer. So bottom line, right now we don't know if you get immunity, if you recover from COVID-19. So either way, please stay home. You should only be going out for essential needs. So 3 important takeaways from today. 1, all of us need to understand that COVID-19 is throughout our community. There is community spread happening, and we don't need a test to tell us this. If you're sick, whether you've been tested for COVID-19 or not, please stay home. And then if you've had COVID-19 and recovered, you still need to stay home and practice good social distancing, because right now we don't know if you can get it again. The best, most responsible thing to do for yourself, your family, and the community is to stay home. And if you're sick, definitely stay home. I've got 4 kids at home. I think they're watching today, so hi kids. I know exactly how hard it is to keep them at home, but it's the right thing to do. So thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. I got a question. First, hi to the Sarah Moore kids. Nice job, guys. And to your mom that's here from Chicago watching your kids. Thank you, Mom. Doc, you said the coronavirus is here every year. So you might want to clarify that. The coronaviruses are, COVID-19 is just a particular kind of coronavirus. You want
Yes. So coronavirus is a virus that causes the common cold. So we have it here every year. The COVID-19 is the novel coronavirus, and that's causing a much more severe form of coronavirus that we normally see, and it's a worldwide pandemic, and why we're doing all these extreme measures.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's the coronavirus, it's the COVID-19 one, not just a common.
Yeah, it's a novel coronavirus is what we're worried about, but the other coronaviruses are similar, and that's what researchers are basing the prediction on whether or not you might get immunity. Unlike measles or something, so like measles, when you get it, you're immune, you never get it again. Coronavirus is just slightly different. It mutates quicker, and so we don't know yet if we have that same protection after you've recovered.
And so that's why all the work's being done on creating a vaccine for COVID-19, so we can move beyond that one day like we have other coronaviruses. Okay, gotcha.
Open to.
Thank you. We're getting several Facebook questions about businesses and factories being open in particular. I want to talk about that. So we're hearing that through Metro 311 as well, that some businesses are still operating as if we're not in the middle of a health crisis. And so for those businesses that are still operating, look, we need you all to comply with CDC guidelines as well. So we're asking all businesses to download and post these signs. You can see them right now on the screen in your workplaces to help people understand what they need to do to be as safe as possible. So obviously this is critical. We don't need people congregating in a business. You can call 311 if you suspect that is happening in the community. And then we will have either someone from the health department or police department or ABC come by and do a health check. Okay, so this is really critical. Please download that sign. Right? And then you'll recall one of the other things that we've got going on in the community is Lift Up Lou. So Lift Up Lou is all about connecting us online, connecting us in different ways so we can, we're social creatures. So we're telling everybody to be socially distant, but all kind of new ways people are connecting in fun ways online as well. So as part of Lift Up Lou, tomorrow, a great citizen and creative director of the Louisville Orchestra and Renaissance man known throughout the world for his tremendous abilities in so many ways, Teddy Abrams. Teddy's going to be bringing some music to the people of Louisville. And he's a brilliant artist. He's a performer. He's an overall nice guy as well. So he stood up right at the beginning of all this and said how I can help. So he, along with Ted Smith, a scientist and entrepreneur, and Margaret Roscoe, have created Lift Up Lou. And this is one of the first initiatives. So Teddy, take it away, buddy.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor, and appreciate everything that you're doing and for telling us what we need to hear. And I am at home. I'm not congregating. Of course, I understand on behalf of all the artists in this town, the great creative people, we are trying to step up and do our part. And as I've said many times, we have so much respect for the people that truly are on the front lines of the health situation, of the financial situation that we're all facing together. And we respect how challenging a time this is for everyone. But arts and culture have a big role to play because we are on the front lines of social isolation, and we are on the front lines of making sure that as a community we stay connected and we stay strong, because that's the only way we're going to get through this. I keep saying it's not enough just to tell everybody that we're getting through this together. We can't keep saying that we're in this together. We actually have to do that. And so this is just one example of dozens of projects that are happening at Lift Up Lou that involve all the arts, not just music, but so many other art forms that are so well represented by incredible talent in our city. But just so you have a little update, the thing that we're going to do tomorrow during the Arts Hour, which is 3 o'clock each day, where we've actually got this awesome vehicle from Metro, and it is being outfitted as a mobile musical unit. So we're calling it Music on the Move. And I'm going to test it out for the first time, and hopefully this will be something that musicians from all over the community, we already know a bunch of orchestra members are going to start doing this too from the Louisville Orchestra, will actually be able to take this to different parts of town. We're not going to tell you where they are because we don't want a crowd. It might mean playing in a cul-de-sac so that people can roll down their windows and listen. It might mean playing outside of a senior center so people can listen through a window there. Whatever it is, we're going to try and just bring some music to the people because that's our job. It's what we can do. As we all been talking about, this is basically a wartime situation, and I feel like every single American has a role to play in this and a way to contribute. I can't solve the medical situation, but I can hopefully spread some joy and engagement and hopefully entertainment through music. And I call on all of my fellow artists to be creative and keep doing what you're doing, which is sharing and sharing so beautifully in the community. So I'm very happy to serve and super excited about this. We're going to roll out a bunch of different ideas this coming week too that we're going to announce that involve some larger scale musical projects that we've been working on for a couple of weeks already now. So very excited to be a part of this and to do everything that we can to address this from all angles so that we do stay a very strong community.
All right, Teddy, that was kind of a teaser you gave us there, man. You gonna any more love? Tell us what you're thinking about, or are we going to make us wait till next week?
I think we better wait till next week, but okay, I'll give you just this little bit that this it was actually your idea to co-create a song amongst a lot of different musicians in town is starting to move forward, and hopefully, but within a few weeks, it seems like we may have some time to do this. Unfortunately, but also that means we'll be creative with it. We'll have a true Louisville song, and then a very big project that we're going to be announcing, which in its even though it's going to be small amounts of money, but we've been working on a way to get money out to all of our creative people in town. So that's a really big one. It's our tiny WPA project that we're calling it. I think Louisville's going to be the only city to have such a thing. And it's really our opportunity to say we value the work that people are putting online and sharing. So we'll talk about that a lot more next week because I think that is really, really special and it will help alleviate a little tiny bit of the financial burden on all of our freelance people and all of our creative folks that are struggling right now. We're thinking of them.
Okay. So be sure to let us know where people can send more money to that if they want to do so when we talk about that next week.
We will indeed. Thank you, Mayor. And I did donate to the big fund as you were talking. I went straight to it and donated. I hope everyone will do the same.
Okay, that's at louisvilleky.gov, top left of the homepage there where it says
I did it.
Louisville, One Louisville, COVID Relief Fund. Good citizen modeling, Teddy. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. We'll switch over now to the questions that we've got coming in. I'm going to ask Dr. Moyer to help with this one. This is from Laura Ellis. Have you heard from staff about the possibility of randomized testing? Is that something you're considering implementing to get a better understanding of how far the virus is spread? I'm not sure what she means by that. Have you heard from staff? But I know, Dr. Moore, you can talk about.
I can answer that, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, right, yeah. So randomized testing would have been great a few months ago. Right now, we're at the point with 40 new cases every day. We know COVID is all across our community. And so right now, just trying to get people to stay home and focusing on the surge capacity of our hospitals and making sure our healthcare system is prepared and healthy to respond. Once our curve starts coming down with new cases, after we go past that apex of cases, that's when some randomized testing and other stuff would be really helpful. And so as testing capacities increase and we're able to test those people that are needed to get tested, well, that's our goal, is to have more randomized testing at the end of our epi curve.
That's a good point too, because people have been asking, I mentioned this a little bit yesterday about, when can we go back to quote normal? Well, the virus is going to really determine that. So when we see plenty of hospital capacity, when we see cases no longer going to the hospital, and when we see the public health department have the capacity to identify who has the virus and then do the kind of tracking in the community. As I don't think people have a feel for the kind of tracking that you all are doing. So you want to talk a little bit about how that process works?
Yeah, so right now we get reports of every positive lab test and then information from the hospital is what we call a PUI. It's a person under investigation, and it just has basic information like what symptoms they have, their age, their demographics, comorbidities, whether or not they're hospitalized in the ICU, other things that are happening. And then we use that information to call the patient if they're not on a ventilator, and just find out where they've been, what they were doing in the 48 hours before their symptoms start. And with that information, had been contacting all those people and we're encouraging them to quarantine, just like you've been doing, for 2 weeks, because the virus takes 2 to 14 days to show up with symptoms. And because we know that you could spread it 2 days before you start having symptoms, we want you at home so you're not spreading it to anyone. And that's what the health department had been doing for the last 2 months. Now we're at the point where it's everywhere in our community. We're asking everybody to isolate and quarantine at home. And so really that contact tracing is going to be focused more on people that are still interacting with their vulnerable populations, like our healthcare community, our first responders, our essential service needs providers. And then for everyone else, just keep staying home. You don't have to get tested because nothing will change that. But then once cases start going down again, we'll be doing that strong case investigation for everybody again, and that's what's going to help us prevent more community spread from happening again. So once numbers are low enough that we can get the orders out, know everyone's staying home, that's when we could start lifting up some of those social distancing and other measures we've taken across the community.
This is a question from Marcus Green, and thanks for joining us today, Marcus. The issue, when we're talking about why we're keeping everybody home, we want to do social distancing so that we don't have a big spike when the surge comes along. We want to do that, obviously, so people are healthy, but we also want to do it so we're protecting our healthcare workers. When these systems have been overrun with healthcare systems overrun with people, we're seeing a lot of doctors and nurses and people that work in the hospitals get sick. So Marcus Green's question for Dr. Moyer is, do we know how many healthcare workers in Louisville have been tested? How many have confirmed cases of COVID-19? And if possible, how many are quarantining?
Yeah, I don't have those exact numbers, but healthcare workers are a priority for getting tested, and so all 3 hospital systems are up or going with that. I mean, the mayor mentioned we're trying to do it with first responders here in Metro, but I don't have exact numbers of who's a healthcare worker and who's not, but can possibly get that for you from my team.
Okay, thank you on that. Jesse Cohen asks a question. We announced today that TARC laid off more than 130 local employees to prevent the spread of the virus. How do you think this will affect the community? And we have such a great number of people that rely on this transportation method. Less drivers, of course, means less buses on the street. Okay, well, so this was a data-driven decision behind this, that the current levels of TARC service will not be impacted. We have a lot less people now riding the bus because they're staying at home, like we've asked them to do, and how you just saw with our unicast numbers that were put out there. So we're on what's called like an extended Saturday schedule with TARC. So it means some of the express routes are not operating as frequently as they do during the week, but we have kept certain routes going that normally aren't going on Saturday, specifically to get people to work in some areas of town where there's still some essential work being taken place. As it relates to the bus drivers, there's some good news relative to their compensation and benefits. TARC is continuing to provide benefits to the affected employees, including health insurance. And we hope with the federal relief bills that we just talked about here, that together with the unemployment insurance from Kentucky, they're going to be able to get through this difficult time in a way that should be acceptable. That's certainly our hope. And this is kind of a message for everybody. You got to kind of layer all these different things on top of you if you get laid off. Is there anything coming from your employer? What's the state unemployment insurance look like? What's the federal unemployment insurance look like on that? What's the direct checks that you've got coming to you, so you can really understand what your financial situation is there. So in terms of TARC ridership, it will not be impacted. Okay, that's all the questions we have from the media today. So with that, let me just remind folks about at Lift Up Lou. That was what Teddy Abrams spoke about. And that could be part of your daily rhythm. One of the things that history teaches us when you in crises is that if you can come up with your own daily rhythm, get up at a certain time, eat, sleep, exercise, read, enjoy the web, play some music, listen to some music. Getting that kind of rhythm keeps you going and keeps you moving through these type of things. So there's a rhythm in Lift Up Lou to their daily offerings that you can integrate into your current life. Part of your rhythm might be tuning in to the daily 4 o'clock briefing. Now, tomorrow we won't have a 4 o'clock briefing because we're having a 10 a.m. Facebook teletown hall. And so that'll be a wrap up of the week, but also the doctor will be in. Dr. John Klein will be with me to take questions about the coronavirus COVID-19 for viewers throughout the Commonwealth and the Louisville area, so that we can keep people informed. So that's at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday, Facebook Teletown Hall. Be sure to check into that. I want to thank Julie Johnson again for joining us as our interpreter. She'll be on these daily briefings at 4 o'clock. And I just want to remind everybody, stay safe. We've done a great job. This data that we had today with Unicast, that shows us we're getting an A rating in terms of responsibly handling the coronavirus, COVID-19, compared to other cities around the country. It means that we are doing our part to take care of each other, defeat the virus, so that many of us will get through this with very low symptoms, and certainly we want to reduce suffering and loss of life in our community. You make a direct contribution to that. So thank you very much. Everybody take care. See you on the town hall, 10 a.m. Saturday. If not, then we'll be back here Sunday at 4 o'clock. Take care.